Today I want to talk about one of the biggest prospecting mistakes people make and how you can avoid it. When I first started doing sales for our web design company over 10 years ago, I made a very common mistake that new salespeople make when it comes to their strategy. I tried to sell to people that don't value what I have to offer. So let me explain. When I first started to build my prospecting list for my web design company, my thought process is I'm gonna go around and look at websites of different companies in our local area, and if the website was outdated or broken or had issues, but I knew the company was a good, well-known company in the area, they were a perfect company for me to add to my prospect list. My thought process was, we built great custom professional websites. They didn't have that, so of course they'd want to buy one from me. So I built up my list, I sent out direct mail pieces, I called people, and what happened was I got no sales from those people. And that's when I learned a very valuable lesson when it comes to sales and trying to sell your products or services. And that's that if someone doesn't value your product, it doesn't matter if they have the budget, if they're the right size company, if they have the right contacts there. If they don't value what you have to offer, those are not the people you should be prospecting. This goes back to the basic principle that when you're trying to sell something to someone, you are helping them make a change. They are in their current state, they have a desired state, and you are helping them get there. But of course, if they don't want to go to that desired state, if they don't want the outcome or they don't value the outcome that you have to offer them, those are not the right people to be selling to or building your product for. I obviously have my example of selling websites, but another classic example is car sales, right? So if you are someone who works at a luxury car dealership, let's say you are selling Mercedes cars, right? Nice luxury cars that cost a decent amount of money. One thing you might say is, I'm going to pull a list of people or households who have over $1 million of net worth. The thought process there being, of course, people with money will want a nice car like a Mercedes. But what you'll find is there are people driving Toyota Camrys or Honda Accords or some 10-year-old car, but they don't want the Mercedes. Those are the millionaire next door types who value their investments or other experiences and don't value vehicles. And just the same, you might find people with a much lower net worth are actually buying the Mercedes cars because those are the people that are continually buying those cars. Or the same thought process, if you're trying to sell a lease to those cars, the best person to buy a car lease is someone who's coming off an existing car lease, not someone who has an old broken down car on the side of the road. So I want you to think about your product or your service and who you are prospecting to. Is it somebody who values what you have to offer? Or are you chasing someone because they don't already own what you have or they're not already doing the service that you're selling and you think you can convince them or you think you can make them value something that they don't currently value? And I want you to truly be honest with yourself here, because I find most people, whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing, whether you run a business, a lot of people go for the wrong audience. They prospect to people based on a perceived need, not based on what those people are actually searching for, what they're actually looking for a desired outcome. So to help you out, I'll give you 3 tips that I use when it comes to making sure I'm targeting the right people. So tip number 1, they've already purchased a product or service like yours. Maybe they're an existing customer of yours, maybe they're buying from one of your competitors, but these are people who already have a history of putting money on the table for the product or service that you sell. Again, going back to the car example, if I'm selling a Mercedes, I'm going to target existing Mercedes owners or BMW owners or Lexus owners because these are people who clearly value what I have to offer. Tip number 2, going after people who are buying complementary services or similar products to what you have to offer. So for instance, going back to my world of selling website design, something I might look for is if someone's already spending a bunch of money on marketing, maybe SEO services or advertising, things that are similar to a website or a website might complement, those are perfect people for me to target. These are people who value the idea of marketing and getting a return based on a digital strategy. So those would be good people to sell to. And tip number 3 is looking at buying intent. So if someone is attending webinars, downloading white papers, or potentially researching on websites using different tracking cookies and things like that, if you can see the buying intent of an audience, and this happens oftentimes with digital ads, but you can use it for other tools too. If they're already showing intent or showing an interest in buying a product or service like yours, that can be a good green flag to add them to a prospecting list. So again, those tips are looking for people who are already buying your product or service, looking people who are buying complementary products or services, and then people who are looking or showing buying intent based on their behavior. The big takeaway here is you don't want to waste your precious time trying to sell to someone that doesn't value what you have to offer. Focus your time doing your sales and your marketing strategy towards people who truly want that outcome that you can offer them.